Hey everyone, happy Monday. Hope that you're having a really awesome day already and that you're coming off a great weekend. If you've been around me too much online, then this lady is definitely no stranger. Dr. Danielle and I met at Sherman, I think in 2018. Would that be right?
Yeah.
And I was
Wow.
standing here and she was over there at one of the round tables and stood up and kind of put her hands on her hips like, all right, lady, let's see what you got.
Who
And
do you think you are?
and it's been a really fun journey ever since. We were just laughing because I've got on a merino wool turtleneck and a wool pullover, and I'm getting ready to go out in Alaska. And I said, of all the people that I could possibly do a Facebook Live with that would never want to change spaces with me, it would be that girl right there. So Danielle, welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So our title is the number one tip for practice growth. If you had to boil down everything, what would be your number one tip that because I know you also talk to tons and tons of students. What's the number one thing that you always include in advice for them?
Our practice is 100% us. Who we are genuinely, how we speak to people, the policies and procedures we put in place, everything has to come from who we genuinely are. That is, people are not buying as much as I would love to say that people have been in my practice and actually started with me as a student almost 5 years ago now. Not just because like I'm just so wonderful as a chiropractor. I would love for it to be that. And for some people, maybe they do like my adjusting style, but people are buying me at the end of the day. And there are people in my practice, and my husband and I practice together, that absolutely really prefer him. And we could probably do almost the exact same thing in the exact same way. But really, I keep forgetting the camera's there. They really want him. They want to be with him, and they love what he talks about and how he talks. And it's the same thing for me. If I am genuinely myself and I'm authentic in my communication, I seem to attract more of the similar people in my practice, quite honestly. And people want to stay and they like to be a part of that.
I love that. And that's one of the things that I have heard about my coaching and thus our community. My coaching since 1999 is there are no cookie cutters.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the same thing in your practice, that it's not one size fits all. We have the same script for every single person. Everyone's going to get the same experience because no two people are alike. And it's also like our boot camp events. Danielle is speaking for, is this the third year on this topic?
This is my second year with the boot camp on this topic.
This is the second. And so Dr. Danielle is coming from the heart. When you hear her story and hear her talk, you know that there's experience and wisdom behind her words on human trafficking. And what does that mean for all of us in practice? And what do we need to be aware of? And so at boot camp events, if you've never been, then you haven't experienced the kind of nurturing environment that is created from all of us in the tribe. From all showing up authentically, like we're not putting on a facade of my practice sucks, but I come here and I put on a happy face, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or things aren't okay at home, but I come here and put on a happy face. Like we're all just here for each other, and because it's a safe environment, learning goes through the roof,
right?
Because we're not like there comparing ourselves to other people. So my number one practice growth tip is always community and mentorship. And it's something that is a huge part of our boot camp. It's why great boot campers like Dr. Danielle for the second year in a row is going to be on stage and sharing. Danielle, give us like the top two things that we're going to take away from your talk at the Business Plus boot camp.
Oh man, only two. Okay. I feel so limited right now.
And
So
you know why? It's Miller's Law.
I know, but like there's so many things I just always want to say. As far as being a chiropractor and the topic of human trafficking, when you walk away, one, you will be truly trauma informed. So, what does that look like? Someone walking in your practice, and then if they do, what do you do with that information? Both for self protection and also as far as reporting responsibilities or ensuring there's patient safety. And the third thing, and I know she said two, but I always push the envelope, is how to continue to deliver safe patient care so that you can affect the neurology of that person so they can actually truly heal. Because what we do as chiropractors is so far beyond what other service providers are really able to give them, quite honestly. And people who have been through human trafficking situations definitely have a nervous system that needs caring, supportive chiropractors to address that trauma that starts to, embed in their in who they are. And so we can address that.
And
sorry, I had
so
to
important that we know what to look for. Like I first heard Danielle, I don't remember how we got on. Oh, you developed a talk for Lyceum.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, well, we got to have this at the boot camp event because a lot of boot campers are seeing families and small kids, right? And so it's so important that we become informed. So I love that you're pointing to so they can accept the adjustment, because just because they're laying on our table doesn't mean their neurology is accepting that, right? Like understanding them and creating that environment that comes from that understanding is how their body can absorb what we're providing.
Really heal, right?
Yeah, in order to heal. So let me ask you this: if someone's never been to a boot camp event, what's the number one thing from your perspective, having been to, I think, almost all of them, that you can share with them that would be like, oh, you know what? I've seen it. I just haven't signed up for it yet. And I guess I better get there.
I love and hate that you are telling me one thing. When you leave the boot camp, the experience that you have it's just really a phenomenal experience of both personal and professional growth. And in ways that you might need to heal personally, that's available. I'm sorry, I had to look up to really think about how to say this. It's available to you if you are open to it and the safe space that's created. But then as far as professional challenges or goal setting, even like things you just might want to see in your practice, that opportunity exists as well. So it's unlike any chiropractic seminars that I've ever been to in the past. I went to many as a CA because both personal and professional needs are able to be met. I think that's huge. And that's the biggest takeaway I would say from the boot camp.
Love that. And so true. Like we're meeting you where you are to help with your business and knowing that you are your business, right? That like each doctor that comes and CA or associate, that your well-being has a huge impact on the success of your practice. So if all we do is give you more tools in your tool bag and your fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, what good is it to give you more tools? Like let's address the being, right? So there can be wellness in your practice, in your life, and all of that. And so, this year, like every event, we offer a space to look at all of those topics and even to the point of human trafficking. So as we wrap this up, I promised to keep it to 10 minutes. What final words do you want to offer to those who, and let's talk to the people who've already registered and they're going to come and be with us.
Okay, super excited to see you, especially if you've been before, because those connections are so important. And I love that we get to spend time building them and continuing to grow upon them. But also, if you're new to a boot camp event, It's not like anything you've ever experienced in such a good way. So come expecting a really, hyped up, exciting time. Come expecting a really safe place to address where you might need to grow personally and professionally. And then lastly, please come expecting to build new relationships, because we're not going to be there in a, because there's some of us who've been in the boot camp for a little while. We're not a clique. We're not closed off. We're so excited to see other people grow and practice and build like we've built. Obviously, we're all better together, and we have that philosophy of seeing and challenging people to do better and be better. And we do that in community. So would love to meet new people. If you don't know me and you're there, please stop me and say hi so I get to know you too, because I love to meet new people. And that's really kind of the spirit of us being able to build our own practices as we more authentically become ourselves.
I love that. And that wasn't even scripted. That was just right from Dr. Danielle's heart. And she nailed it perfectly.
Thanks.
Definitely couldn't have said it better. So look, go in the comment section, grab your seat, grab your ticket. There's a VIP event. It's always super fun. We're going downtown Spartanburg again. That's a really special, intimate time. On Wednesday, the 22nd from 6 to 8 is our free pizza party and mixer. That's where we all just come together, and it's a really great place for students or young docs to meet practicing docs to develop those relationships, whether it's for a PMOE or it's for an internship or it's for an associateship or just for friendships. And the same thing with practicing doctors, like come meet your next superstar. And then we kick off on Thursday, and like so much hands-on. And our events are, every meal is provided, like all 3 lunches. And part of the reason I do that is, if you know me, I don't like anyone to ever be left out. Like that's just something in my heart that my team often says to me, you go to such lengths and like do so much stuff. I'm like, I know, I just want to make sure everyone knows that they're seen and loved. And so all of our meals are there, so you don't have to find a lunch buddy or jump in the car and take off. And that also just invites all of us to have more conversations with one another.
And you take care of all of our crazy food allergies.
And I take care of everything.
Yes. And they're all over the place. It's like amazing.
Yes. So we want to see you. Have a great rest of your day. Grab a ticket. And then when we get there, grab Dr. Danielle, grab myself, and give us a hug and tell us you watched this. Danielle, I love you. Thanks for joining me today.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me. Have fun in the snow.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.